But you got to change the culture, not just in the department, but within our own communities, because we limit ourselves, and the department limits itself. And so I think that that's what the disparity study gives. I mean, here may be the basis and the findings, etc., so we can figure out ways that the department can have initiatives that are constitutionally sound. But the real issue is, how do we change the culture so that we get the desired outcome without harming anyone, and everyone understands as we move through this the benefit that it makes to us all and to the state.
Could I just say one very quickly, because I know we're coming to the end, but I want to just sort of echo the comments that have been made by my good Reverend cousin, and I promise I'll do some bullets and make it simple. All right, and then all right, here's the thing. Although I do feel like I'm becoming a North Carolina resident because I'm here so much. But let me tell you what's unique about this room, and Reverend Barber just mentioned that. I did a disparity study like I did for the North Carolina Department of Transportation. I did it for the Georgia Department of Transportation, right? And Metro Atlanta is supposed to be a very enlightened place. And
Metro Atlanta.
Metro Atlanta. All right. So then I presented, I did the annual goals for them. And this is, I'm telling you fact. And I found that they had a capacity of 13%. Well, each year the board wanted to set it at 10%. And I'd come back and I said, well, the capacity is 12%. At 14%, or I said 13%. And the board said, no, we're going to set it at 10%. Right? So FHWA said, if you don't follow the recommendations of a scientific study and set goals, we're not going to accept that anymore. You just can't do that. Now, you find somebody else to do a scientific study, then that's another thing. Well, they found somebody else to do a scientific study. There's never been an opportunity for dialogue like there is here. So I just hope that as Reverend Barber mentioned, and as all of you have mentioned, that this is the beginning of a dialogue. I also want to say that I have a great deal of regard and respect for Andrea, and I've always said I sure wish we could get somebody like you down in Atlanta and in Georgia. And here's why. Because we're talking about this issue of personal net worth. Right, and the Congress now, there's a legislation in the Congress to raise that. It's not high enough, but they're talking about raising it. What we're working on is we want to try to get rid of it. But the decision even to begin raising it, but for Andrea's involvement, that wouldn't have happened. And the action that we have going on now to get rid of it and replace it with something that's more rational and industry-based is largely due to the efforts that she has. So I again, tremendous resource, Reverend Barber. There's so many people in North Carolina that I've encountered that are unlike, unlike the kind of really genuine involvement to deal with problems. I mean, I think too often down there, people have said, all right, well, I got what I needed and what I wanted, and I'm going on about my business, and you get yours. But I just hope that everyone in this room see this as the beginning of some fruitful dialogue and look at the opportunities to work together. You're going to disagree. That's fine. You disagree, but disagree in a constructive way to try to address things that will create opportunities for the entire state. And when you do that, then you end up exactly what you said.
I think our intent was to have a chance for some question and Q&A, but I think as you can tell, this is a very, informed panel that has a lot of information. I think it's very informative for me. But I guess having said that, as I mentioned at the beginning, there are some comment cards and question cards, and I can assure you there'll be ample opportunity to submit your questions and follow-up opportunities for us to have a dialogue like this where you get a chance to talk to us. With that, seeing that the Secretary has risen, I'm going to ask him to make some in my church, I know when the pastor says that, it's time for
Reverend Barber taught me that. I do want to thank everybody for coming today. I think it's been a constructive start, and we look forward to continuing the discussion. We will stay in touch with all of you as we move forward. We're going to look very quickly at the recommendations and decide to move forward on as many of them as we can, and where we need continued dialogue on some of them, we will generate that with the appropriate parties. And thanks again for being here, and stay with us. We're going to work.